that we've had in a long time.
Hey everybody.
Look at this. Shade from
This is another line choice breakdown video, and I hope you guys appreciate these. To give you an idea of what goes into this,
and there's trash
I just
cans
spent
from the
30
facility.
minutes
Down there, there's
trying to get
showers
the
and
perfect
everything.
balance
And
between
that's really the only redeeming quality about this
the
place,
microphone
because the traffic
volume,
is
the input
bombed.
volume.
I'm racing the 250 FX
It's not
today.
easy, but
Getting ready to give her some gas.
I think it's something that'll help people.
Numbers and backgrounds.
I get
from
people
my
to ask.
14,
I get people
450
that
on here
ask me
because
if
my
I can
blueprints
do
weren't ready in
private
time. They're
training,
here now. I gotta go find
coaching,
them,
things
come
like
up.
that. And the truth is, I just
That's weird.
can't.
Cut
Like,
that out.
when can I?
I wonder what I cut that for.
And where can I? I think it really comes down to where.
I should
But
really
somebody
stuff
can
a
say,
rag
hey,
in
can you
there
come
so
coach me on a
figure it out.
Saturday? Well, I
I
can
can
just
do
go to
that
work
right
on
now.
Saturday and make
Anyway,
much more money. So,
getting ready for the race. Monica's out racing right now.
and again, where are we going to meet? Are we going to go to Croom? Croom is just
Get some
whoops and
tear-offs.
sand, and I don't think that's good
Get ready.
training. So I think these videos are really where it's at. So let's watch some. This is me just headed up to the starting line. I'll show you guys how sandy this place is. I mean, it's just a lot of sand. Wish we could skip forward 10 seconds. We'll do 30. So this is us getting to the starting line. The starting line got moved last minute. So the first corner we haven't seen. I have no idea what it looks like. I'd like to go out there and take a look at it. And we're going to line up to race here. Getting this bike in neutral is a thing. It's like a whole thing, getting this bike in neutral. This is a 2019 250 FX. And I guess the OEM clutches are kind of weird.
No.
And it does this thing where it gets real grabby. So I have to
Ride this. Is this recording?
I have to give it a bunch more throw when I'm in the pits, and then I have to give it a bunch more play when I'm racing. That's my friend Brian making sure my
You had to put your foot down.
camera's recording.
Yeah.
This is my new friend Austin right here, and you'll see him in a minute because we're going to come together
I was like, man,
in the
that
third
looks tired.
corner.
Thank you. I love you too.
This is my new friend Glenn Curry. You're going to see him. Broke down the side of the trail, but look how big these A-lines are. I think there was a total of 52 AA, A, and 30-plus riders at this race. Here we got some political shirts. These were being sold to kids in like a really weird form of indoctrination. It's surprising. It's something that's happening.
Idea what the first corner looks like.
All right, let's watch these A-lines go off. And here we go. You guys know by now we run to our bikes. I have raced with, I think, all of these people before. Travis here, number 113. I haven't beat him since we were in minis. Mini B, Mini C back in 1999, something. So I pretty much know I'm going to get second place at this event. I think I can beat everybody else. So if you see me not being very aggressive in the beginning, it's because it doesn't matter. It's going to be a 2-hour race. I know where I'm going to finish. It's more important for me to stay dry or stay on my feet or not re-break my leg. Today was 6 weeks after my broken foot. And the doctor said I'm 80% healed, but I really wasn't supposed to be racing. So here we go. Let's do a line choice breakdown. These are probably all 450s, I assume. Austin maybe on a 350. Could have gone a lot faster around that corner, but didn't know what was up. There's the cool picture I got. See, there's the photo man, Jamie Purdue, superstar, getting this sweet pic of me. It's on the thumbnail of the last YouTube video. But I'm just trying not to get roosted. I know there's some water coming up. There goes Travis passing us all. Didn't waste any time. I should have hit the brakes right here and not got muddy. I should have done it. It would not have changed the outcome in the race at all. I think I'm in last place right now. So now I'm in last place, and I'm wet and I'm muddy. Now Austin may be behind me, but I'm almost in last place. Austin's on the right side of me right now, and he is cooking, and I'm cooking, and then we both end up cooking in the same time. So right now you'll hear him holler like, "Woo," or "Yee yee," or whatever he says. But I'm going too fast. I was relying on this berm to stop. I need it. And he was relying on it too, so we're in kind of a bad spot, but it ended up fine. I came in and slowed us both down. this camera wiped off in a minute. I don't think there's anything noteworthy here. You see me getting up into the right side, and that's cool, except there's a stump there you'll see at the beginning of the second lap. Well, watch me bust my butt. I'm going right through the whoops here, and this is strictly because it's the beginning. I got a lot of energy. I didn't really feel like looking for a way around them. This isn't the area for me to try to make any passes, so I'm patiently waiting behind Martin here. I know there's an opening coming up, and I can make a pass or two if I get on it. So we're just going to kind of stalk for a minute. Get out of the whoops for a second here. That's a weird line. It's probably dangerous because it's closer to the tree, but it saves some energy. I really should have gone outside here. Somebody pointed that out to me yesterday, Corey Pierce, but I missed it. And then you could cut in way left here, which I do, but it's faster if I would have went outside, inside, instead of inside, inside. So Martin took the bumps here. I got to go out on the smooth side. I put a big gap on Paul here. I close a big gap on Paul here, and this is a coachable moment for everybody watching. If you're watching this, this is something that you might want to know. Just kind of keep an eye on where Paul starts to brake and where I start to brake. I mean, he's off the gas right here. I just saw him let off the gas. But I'm going to try to accelerate all the way to there. And that closes a big gap. So now I'm behind my friend Paul. I want to pass him as soon as possible just so I can tease him about it. I really should have climbed up here on this flat ground and passed him, but I didn't. I got here in this rut, which is too big to get a nice straight handful of throttle. We both hit that nice mud puddle there. As cool as it would be to get around him in this little area right here, again, there's no rush. I'm not that much faster than him, so I'm not going to just motor by him in an area like this. I need to wait for him to make a mistake or take a wrong turn, or I don't know. But we'll wait for something, and it happens. Exactly what I thought would happen. It happens. Alright. You're going to see a common occurrence with any of my videos is that I often will take a worse line than the guy in front of me. But I'm not doing it to take a worse line or because I think that worse line's better. I'm doing it because I'm taking a different line than him. I can't pass him if I'm in the same line, so if he's going straight here, I'm going to go left. And that's just the right way to do it. And you'll see it pay off here in just a minute. If you guys remember anything from this video, anything, it's this pass on Paul. Who's in front of us right now is one of the A riders. And they started a minute in front of us. And we're like 5 minutes into this race. So that means we're going 20% faster than this person. And Paul follows him into this good line. Here's the beat up, quad destroyed line. Here's this nice line. And that is the good line, but not when there's a guy that we just caught in there, Paul. Big mistake. Rookie move, Paul. So I get by both of them. And that's it, but that's not the last I see of Paul because Paul's on a 450 and I'm on a 250. And here we get out in this sandy straightaway. And we're going to watch him motor by me. And it's that easy. But he gets on the brakes a little early, wants to pull a tear off. So I'm going to take it. And that's the last we see of Paul. I'm going to pause this video quickly and stop the recording and make sure that my microphone's working correctly so I don't waste any time. Alright, I'm back. Microphone is working, good volume. I sound pretty nasally, but everybody's going to have to deal with that because, you know, who else is doing this? Alright, so we're back racing. We're in front of Paul. We got a couple guys in front of us. Oh, there's some to look at there. Whenever you see the dirt get this dark, there's going to be some ruts. Look at that rut right there. I don't want to be in that. So I'm looking ahead, and I already see that this is a bad rut. and I don't want to try to cross it because then I'll get all squiggly into this tree. So I'm going to hug this tree really tight here, and I'm going to avoid this rut. See it? People get stuck in that. It doesn't look that bad, but it can ruin your day. Alright, we got a nice big straightaway here. If you guys want to see me get over 60 miles per hour on that, go to watch my 2012 or 2013 Gas EC200 video. And I get up to 60 over that. Alright, this spot was weird. The track went left, it went right, it went everywhere, but I think I found the fastest spot. And here I'm just going to try to reel in. There's two guys in my class that are in front of me right now. They're both on KTMs. I don't know who they are. I don't know if I've raced against them before. So I think I can catch them. And I'm going to do my best. This is me reeling them in here. See if anything notable happens here. Ah! Oh, that was the end of it. Oh, here's the Tenere, different bike. Different bike. Okay, here we go. Alright, so we're having a leisurely cruise through the sand here. If you guys are watching this up north, you may not know what this is like, but this is Florida sugar sand. I mean, you can see the grade change between here and here. I mean, this is dug out a foot deep. It's tough stuff. It wears you out. You have to be very intentional where you're putting your front wheel. Cool cheater line there. Alright, we're allowed to go within 20 feet of these orange arrows. 20 feet. And I see the bike go across here. So as I'm coming up here, I'm looking over there, and I see the orange arrow, and I decide this is 20 feet. So I'm taking it. Now I will say this is risky. If there's a big log or some vines or something in here, it can be a day ruiner. But I took the risk. Paid off. I don't know how much faster it was, but here's my friend Glenn Curry that you saw, who 2 weeks ago at the last race absolutely killed it. He got like 4th overall. Was up running with the double A's. I think he said he fell right here and tore his brake hanger, his front caliper mount off his bike. So he's gonna get that bike started and go right back to the pits and try to fix that. Alright, this guy in front of me here is another A250 rider who just made it real easy to get around him there.
I haven't gained any position.
So I didn't make a pass there. I'm still in whatever position in my class. I think I'd be 4th. Here's another bike that's not in my class. These guys get out of the way pretty fast. He doesn't. Oh, this is Kelsey O'Donnell. Been racing with her since we were kids, riding A200. Everybody's getting out of the way pretty fast. There seems to be. Oh, I love this berm right here. Loved it. This is maybe my favorite part of the track. Just, oh, yes. Let's watch it again. Yes. There seems to be some discussion on Facebook right now about hollering at slower riders that are not in your class. There's two guys arguing that it's rude to yell at somebody else that's in front of you that is similar speed and they're not in your class. The funny part about that is both the guys that are arguing that are guys that have been racing the front line since they were kids. So one's in AA and one's in Med A. Neither of them really have to deal with other people that are as fast as them in their class not moving out of the way. They say you can yell at lappers, and I challenge them to tell me what is the difference. If you're lapping somebody, you're catching somebody who's in a different class and they are different speeds and you caught them, why should you have to race against them to pass them? The same thing with me catching an A250 rider. We're not in the same class. Why should I have to race you? Why should I have to do something extreme to get around you? It's better. It's mutually beneficial for somebody to just yield for a half a second and let us by. And that's my preaching on that. Alright, there's not anything special going on with these lines. We're just rolling through the sand. We're trying to put the front wheel in the berms. We're trying to give it gas at the right time. This is a real timing thing. You get a lot of these big bumps before the corners here. Here's some big whoops. I wheelie into a couple of them. That's a strategy that if you're watching this video, you should maybe look into. So there's, you know, this is the first whoop, dip, peak, dip, peak, dip, and I'm going to try to maybe skip a couple. So I'm going to hit the gas, pop the clutch, lean back, and I'm going to skip, let's see, one, skip the whole whoop. Big whoop. But if you do that a lot throughout the race, you save your back a lot of trouble, and it's faster. And if you're skipping that whoop, that means you don't give that whoop a chance to steer your front wheel for you. Alright, we're getting to everybody's least favorite part of the track, which is this motocross track. I'm using air quotes here behind the microphone. Motocross track, because it really is just torture. I say Jeffrey Hurling's Eat Your Heart Out up here because I felt fast in it, but your goal in this motocross track is to not fall in front of anybody. There were photographers out here. Just pick a general line, try to stay in it. I hope nobody says I make this look easy because I'm struggling here. It was tough. Inside right here is where that oak tree hit my goggles, and it put something under my goggles. So I just pulled a tear off. Whatever was under there is still there. So now I gotta think, how many tear offs am I gonna use chasing this debris that's right in my line of sight? And I end up pulling off the whole stack of tear offs here. This might be something to point out. You know, I say this a lot. The goal is to try to stay out of the bumps. Well, I see some flat ground here, and I see big bumps right here, so I think I cut it a little sharp. I mean, that doesn't look like much, guys. Let's be realistic. It really doesn't look like much, but it is, and it all adds up. I think that was it. That was my last of my tear-offs. So now that's something else I have to pay attention to. Now I have to intentionally not get roosted. More so, because I have no tear-offs. Alright, see this log? I don't care what skill level you are. There is no reason for your front tire to hit that log and possibly crash you. There's no reason. There's no reason to feel the impact of that log in your wrists. No reason. So, what do? You hit the gas and you jump the log. Jump. That's it. Just lift your front wheel over it. That's all it takes. Energy saved. Penny saved, penny earned. Well, what's a unit of energy? A joule? Joule saved is a joule earned.
It was necessary.
Alright, so now we're still trying to catch the guys in front of me. Let's see if I can point out any energy saving tactics. But this is all pretty basic stuff. This stuff's hard right here. You get a big bump before this tree. It's not easy. If you guys all felt, if you were racing this race and you felt like it was challenging for you, well, it's not just you. Everybody had a hard time. Alright, we caught him. Look, he's taking the good line. Look at me over here taking the bad line. Again, because that could benefit me. Oh, let's talk about something, though. If you're racing the morning race when it's crowded, or if there's people behind you, you can't afford to do this. Okay, let's say he's in my class and then Paul was still right behind me. Then I couldn't have done this, because if I would have done this, Paul would have just filled in this spot. Or if you're racing the morning race and there's a train of guys and maybe you're trying to pass somebody in your class, but there's another rider in a different class behind you, again, you can't afford to do this. If you give up that good line, you might end up 5 bikes back if this line's really bad. So you need to have some discretion when you do this. I knew there was nobody behind me, so I went for it. But keep that in mind. That's important. You could be like, oh, okay, I'm going to get around him here, and then lose your spot, and it would stink. Okay, this is a guy in my class, and then in front here in the black is my friend Ryan, who doesn't realize that we're back here. I think he wears earplugs. He's on a 125, which I think is the worst choice for this track, but he is rocking it. Now, Oh, there's another good cheater line, but I say that, hey, there's risks, right? There's snakes in the grass. Look at this log. If you weren't apt to handle that log, that could have been a way worse line. Okay, 799 here. He's in my class. I'm racing against him, but we are not racing against this person. But this person could be racing against somebody in his class in front of him, so he can't just yield to everybody. He needs to have his own race also. But I will say this, that if I were in his position, I would have gave it a rev, I would have gave it a whistle, I would have let him know we were there. This person did not really do that. I think he was way too casual. And the pace difference is significant. We've already gained a minute on this person. I think maybe he was doing like a 32-minute lap, and we're doing a 29-minute lap, so there's a substantial pace difference. And I'm tired of getting roosted. Do you see all that sand? So I think there was a lot of time for Ryan to kind of pull over here. But I think that's Spencer in front of him who's in the same class, so, you know, everybody's got their reasons to do what they do. So I'm struggling right now. I'm trying to stay back far enough to not get sand in my goggles. Alright, so we got one of them. This guy here, A open rider, so we caught this person by 2 minutes. And he pulls right over, that's good. This part here was brutal. Look at it. It got even worse by the third lap. Alright, so now we're split, me and the guy in my class, by an A200 rider, Spencer. So I'm hoping to get by him right away. Took some sand in the face. This is not a place to be wiping my lens. You need to hold on tight here. Here's another 60-mile-per-hour section. Got another A rider, Ben Wacha, I think. Alright, you're going to see me dodge some bumps here. They put these greens way out here, which means the whoops are all going to form right here. Look at all this smooth sand. So I'm going to slow down. It's definitely not the fastest. If you've got energy to burn, I guarantee Garrett and Scott Galler and Hunter and the top 3 guys, guarantee they just went right down the whoops. If you've got the energy to burn, do it. I don't. Okay, check this out. There's a big rut coming up. Right where my competitor went. How do I explain this? Watch the roost come from his tire. You see that? You see the palm fronds moving? I know that this person dropped his wheel in a gnarly rut. And he was close to getting stuck. So I know I'm not going to do that. So I have my eye already on this outside line. And that's where I'm going. And oh my gosh, was I right. Did you guys see that? Look at that. You can't just get in that. You can't just accidentally do that and be like, oh wow, I didn't know it was there. You have to be vigilant and intentional to not get in that. Alright, these guys are both in my class now. This is second place and third place. But I don't think there's any cool line choices coming up. I think we're just kind of racing the track. Alright, right there, I thought if I could have given it a little more sauce, I thought maybe I could go by him on the left. But definitely not worth the risk. This is only a few miles into the race. Not worth it. Alright, I know the track splits right here. Some people go cut in early, some people go late. Guess what I'm going to do? The opposite of what he does. So he goes early, going late. Got Josh Tilkin here. Crashed or stalled or whatever. Look here, he is making an intentional line choice. The guy in front went to the outside, so he just cut it to go inside. Good choice, good choice. Now we're not trying to get wet here. So we're trying to stay just far back enough to where when the water goes up in the air, it doesn't come down on me. Here's a line choice that everybody had to make. Do you go the fast way and go straight, the way your bike was pointing, or do you cut in here into the sand? Into the flat sand, I should say. You see, that guy in my class went on the flat sand, and then he missed the double green arrows, which a few people did.
Oh, so both these guys are in my class.
Alright, so now we got an A250 rider between us and this person. So it's a 30 plus rider up here, an A250 rider behind him, another 30 plus rider, another 30 plus rider. This guy has a split up right now. He should not be doing this. I think he should have pulled over. But this guy's not really hollering at him. He's not revving. He doesn't know. But unlike what a couple of the guys said on Facebook, I don't think that I should have to pass him, like pass like I was racing against him. He should yield.
Come on!
Okay, so now we gotta catch up to number 904. We got some sand whoops here. At this point, I'm not super sure when I'm going to pass this guy, but I think he starts to get tired. There's a good line, check that out. He went right, I go left. If he would have went left, I would have went right. You guys should have seen me hit this thing in practice. I got it. And see those big dents? I'm pretty sure those are just from how hard I hit these in practice. But you gotta wiggle it through. I thought I could split it, and I was wrong. So let's see what happens right here. I think this yellow helmet guy here looks back. He sees that I'm in his class. I don't know what he was doing here. Maybe he was looking back to make sure that I was in his class, because maybe he was going to be considerate and move over if it was somebody else. Or he looks back and sees it's me and thinks, I don't know. I don't know, but he looks a little bit tired right now, so it's looking good for me. I'm pretty sure he makes a mistake up here. He is not in a hurry to correct it, meaning he doesn't let me by, but he kind of lets me by. There we go. Track goes right. Him and about everybody else in the world went straight. So I should have turned there. It's a good thing he was there. Otherwise, I would have went the same place he went. But I tucked back in first. And I'm pretty sure that if he wanted to just give it gas and jump back in, he could have got me. But I think he might have just went ahead and forfeited that spot. Maybe he was getting tired. Maybe he thought his pace could pick up if he followed me. What I've noticed is if I catch an A rider, a lot of times they'll kind of latch on, and everybody's time's improved because of it. Alright, so now I'm in third place, and I gotta catch this guy, get by him, and get to second where I planned on finishing. we got a big whoop section coming up. This is the kind of whoop section that can just take all your energy out. It can throw you over the bars. It can destroy you. So you'll see me get way up to the right here. I'm scanning to see which side has some flat real estate. It's the right side, so there I am, up as high as I can. Same thing here. Where is it flat? I followed him. He took a good line, so I followed him right into it. Look at this. A killer. Just waiting to kill somebody. Not me, not today. One thing I want to point out is that when we're at a place like this, like Hogwaller that's been raced 100 times, if there's a good cheater line, it's probably already burned in. So if the track goes way around a little area, it's probably better that you just follow it around. There's another example of kind of jumping a couple whoops. Take note. You newer guys, here we go. I'm going to use this to get over that. That's it. It's something that everybody should learn. Save a little bit of energy, go faster. This is the kind of thing that, you know, some people's eyes see and some people's don't. We're going to see a straight line into a corner that he took. He took this straight line, and that kind of made that corner, let's call it 90 degrees. Whereas I see the entrance of the berm back here, and I'm choosing to go to the entrance and having less of an apex, right? And I think that's faster and easier on my body. Another little wheelie over a dip here, over a valley. Right here, I don't want my front wheel to go in here. That'd be a waste of energy. So I gotta clutch it, gas it, lift it over. That's it. Alright, so this guy does the same thing that the other guy did. He kind of gets off the track a bit. He could probably gas it and jump right in front of me. I guarantee if this were the last lap and there were a little bit left, you know, he would have jumped back in front of me, but he doesn't. He just kind of looks over and lets me get on by.
I should be in a distant second now.
So this is the first lap we're catching Eduardo Garcia, A250 Extraordinaire. He finished right on the winner's wheel. So it's funny that I caught him in the first lap. So you would think that my pace is substantially faster, but once I got by him, I guess he picked up his pace, or maybe I slowed down, but he finished in front of me. We finished the third lap together, but he got the white, I got the checker. I don't think there's anything fun to talk about in this next section. It's just... Here's a whoop section that's, you know, I don't know why anybody would continue down this when there's this. Why? Here's another pretty nasty set of whoops, and I see some flat ground right here, so I take a little risk and I get off of here. Now look, there's like a trail that crosses us, so I have to jump it. But still, I think I saved a lot of energy. I did that all 3 laps, and I think I may have been one of the few people doing it. don't know how much is coachable for this last half of the track. It's just sand. There's not a bunch of lines. You really just kind of go to the line that your bike is already aimed for. Right? You don't want to fight your bike to change lanes or lines. It's not a major line change, so you're just kind of going with it. Catching an A250 rider here. Let's see if we can note where I closed the gap on him. I don't think anything special happens. I think I just do everything a slightly bit faster, which adds up. I think little stuff, these supercross style berms that we're going through here, I think this person's braking a little bit too early for these, and I'm just holding a little more speed and hitting that apex and letting it stop me. That was an A-open rider. This person in front of me right now, I sense has a lot of energy. Really kind of giving it a bunch of body language. And he's fast enough to where I'm not going to pass him easily, so I think I start to holler at him. Turns around, sees he's not that I'm not in his class, and lets me by. See how easy that was? Oh, jumped another whoop. Everybody watch that again.
Thank you.
This is it. I'm telling you, if you guys want to go out and practice something, especially if you go to a place like Croom, practice doing that right there. Jumping a whoop. And wheeling over puddles. Why get your boots and everything wet when you can just lift your front wheel? It helps everybody out because it splashes all the water out of the puddles too. Alright, that's it. That's the end of lap 1. We have our scoring chicane here. You got to go extra fast to the scoring chicane because people are watching. Alright? And then there's people watching there, so you got to do a wheelie, you know, assert dominance. You don't get to show off a lot in hare scrambles racing, so do what you can. Now we go out to a bunch of other spectators. I see my wife is right there, Peach. So now I gotta go extra fast because she's watching, probably recording. So I hope that was adequate. Alright, let's skip. Okay, check this out. You wanna see something scary? There's a stump in the grass up here. And I'm looking way ahead, and I hit it. And I can't believe it didn't square off my wheels. Actually, I haven't really inspected my bike, so it's possibly it did square my wheels, but watch this. Boom. God, that was brutal. So I think same as before, I just gained a bunch of time braking later on that corner. That's valuable time saved. This is an A250 rider, Kyle Fisher, very skilled rider. And he's letting me by. He wants to try to match my pace, which is smart. I mean, if somebody catches you from a row back, it does make sense just to kind of let them go and see if you can speed up to match their pace. Here we got Tim Campbell, who I passed here. We're on the second lap, in the beginning of the second lap, and I catch up with, and then he ended up passing me back at the end of the third lap. Oh, did Tim's front wheel hit this log? No, of course not. Take notes, guys. There's no reason for your front wheel to hit this log. Bounces right over it. May seem insignificant, but this is the kind of stuff that you need to know.
Thank you.
Just checking for anything notable before I end the video. Here's this same field. It's this 3 laps in a row where I gotta say I didn't feel exceptionally fast. I was kind of surprised that I could make time on any A riders in this field. But nonetheless, it did it all 3 laps. So I went wide here, outside, inside. And I mean, look how far ahead he is at the start of this. I just give it a little more sauce and I hold it on a lot further, and then bam, I'm on his wheel. I know everybody wants to take like a break in these fields, but these fields can be, there's a lot of them in most FTR races. And if you, let's talk about that too. So if you get on it in these fields, you can't, if you need a break, you gotta take a break there. That's all there is to it. But if you have the energy, get on it. Okay, look at this rut right here. Well, I already have too much momentum to go in here. So I'm going to go here, and I just know that you newer guys are going to think this is like witchcraft, because this is not flat here. This is a ledge. This is vertical. But that's all you need. That's really all you need to skip this hill. If you're going fast enough, you will have traction. You actually don't even need your rear wheel to get past it. You really just need your front wheel, and your back wheel can kind of trail in and slide in. Actually, look, you can see other people's tire marks. You see this? That's a good line. So I'm going to ride way up here, and that's it. I just skipped that rut, even though it seemed extreme. And if you were standing in front of that, you'd think there was no way, maybe. But momentum is your friend. Your knobbies are sticky, and it's way better than going in it. Every single time, it's better than going in that rut. This berm here was tough. You can't really lean in because of the barrels. People are watching, but look, I actually rubbed the barrels. There's really no line choice. You just have to lay into it. I gave it a little too much sauce right here. Got bucked. Pretty good. That would have been embarrassing if I would have got bucked off. This is where my battery dies. If it would have lasted 20 more seconds, you would have seen that last guy I passed. He's on a 452, just like Paul was in the first lap, and he got me right back in this straightaway coming up here. And I think he braked early too. Or maybe he just yielded because I'm in a different class. So anyway, that's it. I hope that helped one person. 35 minutes long. Should help somebody.